Hey, what's going on, guys? Sergeant's Tech Tips. Welcome to another video on the channel. Now, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Bazzite. I actually have not had a chance to look at this. I've seen a lot of videos on it, so I kind of know what to expect. If you are new to this channel, this is the Linux Install and Compare series. There's actually going to be seasons. Right now, we're on season 1. I don't know what episode we're on off the top of my head, but I know we're pretty much up there. This series is basically just me looking at Linux distros and just kind of reviewing them to the other ones I've looked at in the past. Basically, the goal of this series is to have as many episodes of myself going through Linux distros, such as the settings, the customization options, all that fun stuff. These videos don't always get tons of views, so I would definitely greatly appreciate it if you subscribed, liked, or disliked for whatever reason. And just let me know what you guys think of these types of videos in comments below, because these videos do take a while to record, edit, and upload. But we're going to be taking a look at Bazzite. Do you find yourself getting blinded by the sun often? Me too. You should check out today's sponsor, Jeffo. They offer all kinds of different sunglasses, as well as different styles and shades, more unique to yourself. They're comfortable, they're lightweight, they're not super expensive either. You can use code STT10 to get 10% off your next purchase. As soon as you get your sunglasses, you can open the box. This is the pink pair, and you get a cute little case to carry your sunglasses in. It's also rugged, so it'll protect them. Once you open it up, you get the sunglasses in a protective microfiber material, as well as a microfiber cloth and a little card, which you don't need. And once you open up the sunglasses, you actually have the sunglasses in here, and you can just open them up, take off the actual protective plastic, and boom, you got your sunglasses. If you guys want to check them out, there's going to be a link in the description below. Again, use code STT10 for 10% off your next purchase. I want to thank Jeffo for sponsoring this video. Let's just go ahead and download it. I think we are going to be doing a virtual machine. I was already messing with the settings to kind of see what it looks like, but we are going to do it under a virtual machine because that's what we're using. And we are using an RTX series or a GTX 16 series because we have a 4070, or sorry, a 5070. We're going to use KDE, which is very similar to SteamOS's desktop. And then I'll probably do a separate video on the GNOME environment. Do you want Steam gaming mode? Intended for handheld or HTPC setup and supports only a single user? No. New users. Download Bazzite NVIDIA open. It's actually pretty cool that they have a virtual machine option when downloading the ISO, because that's the first time I've seen it with any distro I've looked at so far. And there is our ISO file. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to be using VirtualBox. I stopped using VMware because I was having issues with it. But we're just going to go ahead and make a new virtual machine. This is going to be called Bazzite Linux. ISO image, we need to select. Oh, other. Okay, here we go. Downloads. ISO. I'm not sure why it's saying Linux 2.6. I mean, I don't know. Should I change it? What's Bazzite Linux based off of? Does it give us some information? Do we have a Fedora option? Fedora. Next. Base memory, we have quite a bit of RAM. Let's give it like 8 gigs. 8192. We'll give it 4 cores. And disk size, 15 gigs. Let's give it like 30 gigs. Next. I don't know if it'll beat EFI. I don't actually know if it's going to work, if I'm being honest. I have never actually messed with Bazzite, so it'll be kind of interesting to see how it works. I don't need you to show up. Did we not choose you? Interesting. So we're already running into a problem. I don't know if I'll beat EFI. Alrighty, guys, I finally figured it out. When I was setting up the virtual machine, there was a little box called Use UEFI or Use EFI. I didn't click that the first time. I just redid the entire virtual machine, and after I checked that box, it seems to be working. So it looks like it just needs UEFI, which makes sense because it is a newer operating system. But it does look like we are finally setting up. Okay, so I need more RAM. Alrighty, so we're actually at the desktop. We have a welcome screen. Welcome to the live ISO for Bazzite. The live ISO is designed for installation and troubleshooting. It does not have drivers and is not capable of playing games. Please do not use it in our benchmarks as it does not represent the install experience. We can install Bazzite or launch the bootloader restoring tool, I'd assume, to try to repair an install of Bazzite. And then you got close dialog. We're going to go ahead and click install. I don't believe we're going to check out the operating system in live mode. I want to install it and check it out. I'm not even going to click anything. We are just going to get this installed. So yes, United States. That is the correct date and time. That is also the correct time zone. That is where we're installing it. I am not going to encrypt data. That's cool that let you have that option though. We're gonna set up our account. We're just gonna do Sergeant's Tech Tips username. Gonna put a password in. We got our password. Next, erase and install. So this is what the install process looks like. First thoughts, I'm not gonna lie, the taskbar is super clean and I actually quite like it. I remember seeing a like kind of floating taskbar, but I think I might be thinking of SteamOS, which is another video I do want to do. So if you guys want to see that, definitely like the video. Alrighty, while I was waiting for it to install, the secure boot key added. Please check the documentation to when finishing rolling the key. I suppose I will scan that QR code and figure out what's going on here. Alright, so you should see on screen now, I have the secure boot guide pulled up on my phone. This is what pops up when you scan that QR code on screen. This basically just gives you some information on the secure boot notes. Gives you some error message examples, just in case the secure boot is, the secure boot key isn't added. It'll give you those errors. You also have some notes here, and some other troubleshooting steps. So that's actually pretty cool that they offer this to you, and you can just view it on your phone while you troubleshoot your system if required. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and click OK on this, and it should finish installing, and it's probably just about done. And as stated, it is just about done because it took a couple seconds. I looked away, looked back, it's done. To begin using Bazzite, reboot your system. We're going to go ahead and exit live desktop. Oh, now I see how it's kind of floating, so I was right about that. All right, so we got a preparing system. Please wait, this may take a while. All right, welcome to Plasma Desktop. So we've got a shutdown, restart, and powered by Bazzite down here. We're gonna go ahead and do begin setup. We're gonna choose English, English, English. We are definitely gonna use a dark theme. Host name is gonna be Bazzite. What should this device be called? Let's do Bazzite VM. Yes, we are in the New York area. If your device is not ready, enjoy Bazzite. We got preachers here on screen, which is pretty cool. We're gonna go ahead and click finish, and it should bring us straight to the desktop. I may need to install the drivers, but we'll see how that works. Let's go ahead and put our password in. Steam is opening for the first time. Please wait and download the Steam client. It may take a few minutes. It's actually nice that they add this because even when installing Steam on Windows, the first time you click it, it's always going to update. There's just no getting around that. So we'll just go ahead and click OK. So this is the screen we get. We've got our desktop. We've got our little taskbar. Let's just go ahead and install the drivers before we go any further. All right, I unfortunately cannot insert the guest editions because it just gives me this error. I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to go ahead and change the resolution, and we're just going to do it without the drivers because unfortunately I can't get those to work. I can't do 2560 by 1440, so we'll do 1920 by 1080. I'm just going to zoom in and editing. It's going to be the easiest way to do this video. As long as it's still 16 by 9, it shouldn't matter, and you shouldn't see anything different. Without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. First of all, love the wallpaper. I kind of want that wallpaper just on my computer in general. Down here, we've got a Bazzite logo. We've got Firefox, Steam, Ludus, which is a video game preservation platform, console, which is spelled incorrectly, but it's the terminal. We've also got Bazaar, which is basically a app store for apps, and then Bazzite Portal, which helps you set up Bazzite, and then you got Dolphin, which is a file manager. Over here on the right, we've got volume, screen brightness, networks, and then we've got a show hidden icons button. This just shows different icons. I'm not sure if we can drag these in or not, but we've got notifications, Wayland X11 video bridge. I'm not really sure what that means. Input method, vaults, setup weather reports, disk and devices, or disks and devices, display configuration, KDE Connect, and power management. We also got our calendar here with our time, and this is our button to peek at the desktop. So if we click the Bazzite button, I don't know if we can resize this or not. We can make it a little bit bigger. Here is the start menu, if you will, for Bazzite, that is. We've also got all the apps that are actually favorited here. It does look like you can actually wiggle your mouse to make the mouse cursor bigger, kind of like how, wow, you can just keep on going to make it even bigger if you really don't know where your cursor is. That's actually quite cool. Oh, we've also got an all applications tab, development, games, graphics, help, internet, multimedia, office, system, utilities, and Waydroid. Let's see what Waydroid is. Force, restart, Waydroid, and Waydroid. Let's see what this is. Not really sure what this is. I think it's something for vendors if I had to guess. Let's start under development. We've got Kate, which is a KDE advanced text editor, as well as KDebug settings. Let's check out Kate. This kind of just looks like, as it states in the description, it's a very advanced text editor. I'm not going to go through this. We can make a new file. It's basically, it kind of just looks like Notepad++, but kind of a better theme, to be honest with you. Also under development, we've got KDebug settings. This, as it says in the name, you can debug stuff. I'm not going to mess with that. Under games, we've got Ludus, Proton Plus, Steam, and Steam Big Picture Mode. Let's check out Ludus, or Lutris. Not really sure how to pronounce it. So this is downloading a bunch of stuff, which is interesting. Sources, recents, favorites, uncategorized, GOG. Connect your GOG account to access your games. Okay, so this is basically a game launcher. You've also got Flatpak options, Linux options, Steam, and Wine. So you can have like games run through Wine, Steam, Linux, and Flatpak games, I'm assuming. You've also got this runners section. I'm not really sure what this means. I'm not going to try to pretend I know what it means, but that is there. It is actually pretty cool that you can connect your... It is actually pretty cool that you have your sources here, which allows you to connect your account for GOG, Epic Games, EA, Ubisoft, and Steam. So you can access all your games through one kind of section. And then you've obviously got just all your games, your recents, your favorites, and uncategorized. You also have a log into Lutris to sync your game library if you want to sync it, so you could do that. Also under games, we've got Proton Plus. This is a modern compatibility tools manager. These are just tools. That's literally all there is to it. There's nothing, it's not complicated. These are literally just tools. That's all it is. From what I can tell, I'm not super familiar with what this is, but I believe this is just a compatibility layer or layers to help you run Windows software on Linux. And these are actually by Valve is what it's saying here. So that's pretty cool. Also under games, we've got Steam and Steam Big Picture mode. I'm not going to look at those because we obviously already know what Steam and the Big Picture mode looks like. Under graphics, we've got a Gwen view, a simple image viewer. Yep. The name entails itself, simple image viewer. We've also got Oklar, which is a universal document viewer, so basically a PDF viewer. Yep, that's what the name implies. It's honestly not terrible looking. It's pretty clean and the UI is very easy to read. Under help, we've got documentation, help center, and info center. I'm assuming documentation just brings you to view Bazzite documentation. Oh, it just brings you straight to Firefox. Okay, that makes sense. It also brings you to a local IP address, which is interesting. This just gives you some information on what to do, what not to do, as well as how to play video games, installing Bazzite, and all that fun stuff. Because I got Help Center, this just browses, starts documentation. A lot of Linux distros have this. And Info Center, learn about your system's hardware and status. So if we click that, it's just going to bring us to this Info Center. This kind of looks like a little settings panel, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But as you can see, we've got Bazzite 44. You can see our CPU and our available RAM, as well as all the information here, such as KDE version, KDE Plasma version, and then our edition of Bazzite. Under Internet, we've got Firefox. Not going to go through that because we all know what Firefox looks like. You've also got KDE Connect, which allows you to connect all your devices as one. KDE Connect at SMS, so you can connect your SMS devices. KRDC is a RDP or VNC viewer, basically. It's basically a remote desktop software. KRFB is also desktop sharing, and you've also got Steam, Big Picture mode, and web apps here. Not really sure what KDE Connect is. It's obviously some form of remote desktop software, so that's pretty cool. Under multimedia, we've got open source media player. It's built by Qt, QLM, and libmpv. Just a media player. It's very similar to VLC in some ways. Under Office, we've got that universal document viewer, and under System, we've got Bazzite Portal, BTRFS Assistant, Documentation, Dolphin, FCITX5, a start input method, Firewall, Firmware, Info Center, Input Remapper. That's actually quite nice. Journaled Browser. We've got another browser. Oh, this is not browsing like the internet. This is browsing some errors and stuff. Interesting. We also got Console, which is our terminal. You also got K Wallet Manager, which it looks like it stores and manages your passwords. Menu Editor, NVIDIA X server settings, ROM properties, and page configuration. ROM properties, page configuration, system monitor, system settings, system update, and warehouse. We've also got utility. We've got Arc here, which is just an archiver to archive files. Bazaar, which is that little, basically that app store, if you will. Bold Brew, the modern terminal UI for managing homebrew packages. Discourse is a universal blue forms, disks, just manage your disks and drives. You got emoji selector, FCTIX5, that start input method, the same thing from System. FileLite, which allows you to show disk usage and delete unused files. Flatsteel, manage Flatpak permissions. Kate, KDE advanced text editor. Kcalc, the calculator, we always look at that, every Linux distro. Pretty bare bones, which isn't a bad thing. Keyboard layout viewer, Kfind. This just finds folders. It's kind of similar to everything if you've ever used that on Windows. Container, manage DistroBox containers. Kwrite, that text editor we were looking at earlier. I think this is a more basic. Oh no, it's the same thing, I think. Yeah, it's the same thing. Proton Plus, we were looking at that earlier. Proton Tricks, a simple wrapper that does wine trick things for Proton enabled games. That's cool. Spectacle, take screenshots and screen recordings. Warehouse, manage all things Flatpak and Waydroid. Let's check out settings real quick. I wanted to check out a couple of these things, such as firewall. Looks like you do need to put your password in to make any changes to your firewall, which makes sense. That's pretty cool that you have a firewall manager here. Firmware, install firmware on devices. Doesn't look like we have anything to update, which is probably a good... Oh, we might have something to update. I'm not actually sure if it's downloading anything. It seems to be just taking a while, so I'm going to go ahead and pass on that for now. We've also got the Info Center, but I'm not going to click that because we've already looked at that. We do have an input remapper, which allows you to remap some of your keys. I'm assuming for certain games that allow it. Yeah, I got my keyboard, my mouse, a sleep button, a video bus, and obviously the VirtualBox mouse integration. That's kind of cool that you can remap your inputs though. We've also got this K Wallet Manager. This just allows you to store and save your passwords. It looks like you have to create a new wallet to do anything. GPG encryption for better protection, or classic Blowfish encrypted. We'll do the better one. That doesn't really seem to be working, but that is a password manager, and it's not responding for some reason, which is quite interesting. I do like the sounds that are being used for like warnings and stuff. I think it's pretty cool. cool. You've also got this menu editor. It says edit how applications are presented in app launchers. This just gives you some more customization on your menu, which is this here. It's interesting how they call it menu. I'm just going to call it a start menu because that's what I'm used to calling it. I've also got NVIDIA X server settings. This just gives you some NVIDIA settings, configuration panel, pretty cool. I'm not sure what specifically this entails. I'm assuming it has something to do with NVIDIA GPUs. ROM property page configuration. This just gives you some personalization behind your ROMs, which is pretty cool. You've got like Amiibos, Nintendo 3DS games, Nintendo DSi games, Wii U games. That's actually pretty cool. We've also got our system monitor, which we were looking at this earlier. It's a very basic, but more well-detailed system monitor from what I've actually seen. We've got our CPU, our GPU is not showing up because the video drivers aren't loading, memory, and our swap, which is pretty cool. And there's not much running in the background as of now. Plus, I've got our applications here, which is all the applications running, as well as our history and our processes. Plus, I got our system settings, which is probably just going to be a settings menu, which that's exactly what it is, which isn't a bad thing. We've got Breeze Dark, Breeze, and Automatic. You can do a global theme. You've also got some different themes here, which is pretty cool. So we got Breeze Dark, that pretty much the same. Breeze Twilight. This is what Breeze Twilight looks like. It's just a lighter version of Breeze, but lighter. This one's kind of like a weird color, but honestly, I think it kind of looks cool. I think we're going to stick with Vapor. I think that looks the best. We've got our colors here, which we can change. Our application style. So you got some like MS Windows, Fusion, and Breeze. Our plasma styles, our window decorations. I think I do prefer this. These are our icons, our cursors, which you can change. You can change your system sounds. You can change your splash screen, which is pretty cool. Now to continue on from quick settings, we've got mouse and touchpad. This just gives you some mouse options and settings, obviously. Gives you some keyboard settings under keyboard. This gives you some game controllers. If I had one plugged in, I'm sure a controller would pop up and you'd be able to configure it how you would like. You've also got sound, which allows you to change your sound settings, your display and monitor, which we were looking at earlier when we changed the resolution. We've also got a nightlight mode, so you can actually see it. That's actually pretty cool. You can see it on camera. Well, on recording, that is. So that does actually seem to be working, which is good. I'm not sure why that's lagging when I click that. That's something weird. I'm gonna apply that. We've also got screen edges. You can see, like, if I hover my mouse here, it, like, kind of highlights a little. I'm assuming this allows you to set up some, from what I can tell, screen edges allows you to put your mouse up in the corner, whatever corner you choose, and trigger an action that you set. We've also got accessibility settings. As you can see, we can change the zoom. We got system bell stuff. We've also got modifier keys, keyboard filters, mouse navigation, activation shortcuts, screen reader. I'm not turning that on. Color blindness correction. Interesting how you can do a grayscale mode. That's actually pretty cool. We also have the ability to invert everything if you really wanted to for whatever reason. I've also got your shake pointer settings. So you can make this just really large if you want to. And I noticed as you wiggle it, the larger the mouse cursor gets, which is pretty helpful, especially if you're really just trying to find your cursor, especially if you're half awake and you can't see it. Also got a Bluetooth settings, discs, and cameras. I'm assuming you can connect your digital camera or your webcam. We've got audio CDs, so you have some audio CD settings, which is pretty cool that this is even here. Printers, you can add your printers. Wi-Fi settings, you've got here. You've also got online accounts, push notifications, remote desktop if you would like to enable remote desktop. You have the ability to change your wallpaper, which I notice if you actually move your window down, it kind of pushes the taskbar from being floating to like normal, which is interesting. Some of these wallpapers are actually nice. I might need to see if I can download these. We've got color and themes, which we were looking at a second ago. We've got text and fonts. Allows you to just manage your fonts. You can change your animations and stuff, which is pretty cool. We've also got default applications, so you can manage your default applications. You got notifications here, just allows you to manage your notifications. You got window management to manage your windows. Obviously, it says it in the name. You can change like your desktop effects, your virtual desktops. Got activities, CDDB retrieval, general behavior. This just is some general settings. Search, this allows you to change your search settings, such as looking for files and whatnot. You can change your login screen. You can also just automatically log in, which is nice. You got screen locking. This just allows you to change when your screen locks, say if you were to step away from your computer. Application permissions, this just allows you to just go through and change your application permissions. KDE wallet, I clicked it, it's frozen. I gotta give it a minute. KDE wallet still seems to be frozen, which is concerning and very upsetting. Unfortunately, when clicking KDE wallet, it crashes. No idea why, but we'll just continue. We got recent files, user feedback, region and language, spell check, date and time. This allows you to change the date and time. You can change your day and night cycle, change your input method. This is just some more about information, which we were looking at earlier. This is your power management settings, so you can change when your screen turns off or when you're inactive. You can make it sleep or shut down. Not really sure why you would make it shut down after 15 minutes, but maybe you're really about security. It's got users, so you can add and remove users. You've also got your auto start settings. This is where your auto start applications show up. I do believe Steam is usually here, but I did remove it at an earlier time. And you've also got session settings. This just allows you to change your session settings as it says in the name, and as well as changing the location. That's really about it for system. We've also got system update. Let's go ahead and check that out and see what that's like. This looks like it just connects to a server. I may need to let it update. I do like the terminal, or sorry, the console. It's very modern looking, if you will. It's clean and it's also see-through, which I like. While this runs in the background, we'll go ahead and continue. That's it really for settings. I've got a warehouse, which allows you to manage everything that's flat punk. You got your packages, your remotes, user data, snapshots, and install packages. Interesting. I'm not really sure why it's not updating, but that is a-okay. That's really it for system. We can go ahead and move on to utilities. I'm not really sure if there's anything in here I really want to look at. We've got Bazaar, which is something we can look at because this is basically an app store. So this is the app store. Unfortunately, it's saying I don't have a network connection, but I am viewing a cached version. It's probably just a basic app store. I'm not gonna get too upset that it's not working. I'm not really sure why it's not working. We've also got disks, which allows us to manage drives and media, which is actually a good time because it still says we're low on disk space. So let's go ahead and click that. Basic disk manager, if you will. It's not anything like Gparted or anything, but it is still pretty helpful and it's nice that it's there. We also got emoji selector, which allows you to choose emojis. These are all very Android-y. These all kind of look like pixel emojis. Also got FileLight, which shows disk usage and delete unused files. Let's do home folder. It looks like this shows all the disk usage, which is pretty cool. Kfind, which allows you to find folders and stuff, which is pretty cool. We can look up downloads, and it brings us there. And I double click it, it brings you straight to the folder. So that's pretty helpful and nice that it's there. We've got container, which is spelled not correctly. It's manage distro box containers. No containers found. Would you like to make a new one? I'm not really sure what distro box container is. Feel free to let me know in the comments below. I'm not extremely Linux savvy. I've always been a Windows user. I've got another KDE text editor. I kind of want to compare these two because I think, okay, well, they're very similar. And when I say similar, I mean very, very similar. So I got Spectacle, take screenshots and screen recordings. Pretty basic, nothing wrong with that. New screenshot, full screen. Go ahead and save this to the desktop. Open containing folder. It looks like it saves it straight to a screenshots folder in your pictures, which is actually pretty cool that it just immediately throws it into that folder for you. This is actually the image viewer we were looking at earlier, and this is what it looks like when you're viewing an image inside of it. I mean, that's really it. There's not much more to look at. Bazzite has a lot to offer, but it's also not over the top with a bunch of bloat software. Not necessarily bloat software, but it doesn't have a bunch of software that's not needed. If you guys want to check this out, there's going to be a download link in the description below. I do want to thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely like the video if you liked it, dislike if you thought it sucked, and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't done so already. These videos do take a while for me to record and create, so I would definitely greatly appreciate that subscribe. Share this with your friend as well if you thought this video was cool. Maybe they'll enjoy it as much as you did. If there's any other videos you guys want to see, please let me know in the comments below, or Linux distros you want me to look at, because that is a series and I do plan on continuing that. Bazzite Linux is a pretty cool operating system. I think it's clean. It's got quite a bit of options and personalization options, which is nice. I do like seeing the ability to manage your ROMs and stuff, which is pretty cool. Anyway, guys, I will see you guys in the next video. Again, thank you so much for watching, especially if you've made it all the way to the end. I'll see you guys next video, and peace out.